don't tell that trade a million nights of getting loose and turn four. But just one night with her dress on the floor was where the woman you love, you'll talk all night by 5 acres and a farmhouse.
All right, we're running a little behind schedule. That's partly because
It never happens here.
Because I'm running it. Adriana's getting a little bit more dictatorial in this thing. Like, you need to do this, you need to do that, and I guess I have to listen to her. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well, our guest has a. I mean, while she works for Hometown Jam, she also has another full-time job.
So we'll get to that right now. He's Peter. He's. You turned me down all of a sudden. There you go. Right there. I'm good now. And I think we're adjusted. He's Peter Krakowski. He's the sales guy here and the promotions and social media guy. And I'm Jim Diedlow, host of Jed in the Region. A lot of people do a lot of really cool things in the Calumet region. One of them is Hometown Jams, and we're going to talk to Jess Tomich right now. Jess, thanks for hanging on, and sorry that I ran a little bit late. Thanks for calling in
You're
this
good.
morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What is Hometown Jams?
Hometown Jams is an entertainment company that is bringing the best concert experience to the region. You know, like a lot of times you want good music, but you don't want the crowds. Come hang out at a show with us. You will not be disappointed. The next big thing could be there, and we've had some amazing concerts come through the area, and we're going to continue to grow and bring them here. And
one other thing, if you're listening at another time, Adriana will try to cut this out, but it might be. We're going to promo a show that is tonight. So if you're hearing it at another time, we'll do that right now. Tell us who's coming tonight. I know it's a big name.
Yeah, so we've got Justin Moore coming to Bulldog Park in Crown Point. Tickets are still available at hometownjams.com. Doors open at 5. Show starts at 6 with 2 openers that are going to be absolutely incredible to rock the stage before Justin Moore takes it.
Dix, I know Peter's going to come in on this, but explain what it's like to go to a concert at Bulldog Park, where it is, and especially tonight. Here it is. I think we're August 14th of 2025. If you're listening at another time, it won't apply. But Bulldog Park will apply because it may be it's certainly one of the top places to watch a concert now. Explain what it's like there.
You can't explain it. Like, the vibe is just unreal. Everybody comes together. You know, we're there for a good time, and it happens. Lots of people. We've got different areas. You know, you've got your pit area, so those people that really want to be up front, they fight for those areas to be right in front of the stage. We've got VIP area. We've got our party patio. General admission, where you can sit in underneath the pavilion. We've got our vendors that come out, food trucks. It's unreal. And if you've never been, you need to come experience what it's like to do a Hometown Jam show at Bulldog Park.
When I was looking last night, I actually saw on Ticketmaster there was still 2 tables available too. I don't know if those went since last night, but those were available too. I forgot the exact cost on that. But, you talked about Bulldog Park. That's been the main Crown Point venue. But a couple weeks ago, you guys did something that I thought was awesome. I was there. I was going to congratulate you. I saw you over there, but you were kind of running around doing a million things. I didn't want to bother you. But you had, which I don't know if it was actually was it the first ever show at the Lake County Fairgrounds?
So it wasn't exactly the first show. It was the first Hometown Jam show that's been done at Lake County Fair. But I mean, it's been a long time since there's actually been concerts coming through there. So thank you for that positive feedback there. You never know what's going to happen, and with the rain that was there a couple days before, it just it scares you because you don't know what we're going to come up with that day, having the first ever show at a venue that we've not done anything at, but a lot of people haven't either. So to be able to come in and do that and just have Russell Dickerson and Nico Moon and Shailene just incredibly kill that vibe. It was unreal. And like, I have goosebumps right now just thinking about how awesome that show was. And continuing on to that, and hopefully, we'll add on to doing more shows there next year.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
I was going to say, we've been talking a lot about Crown Point, whether it be Bulldog Park or the fairgrounds, but there's two other venues right up here in the region that you guys have gone into and will continue to go into the rest of the summer into the fall. Starting on Saturday, you got Brent Cobb and the Fixins coming to the Hobart Art Theater, and then also over in Valpo, kind of similar to Bulldog Park, maybe not as big, but still the same kind of downtown vibe. You can walk to bars and restaurants before, go have dinner or a drink. Gabby Barrett is coming to Central Park Plaza right there in downtown Valpo. So talk about what the Hobart Art Theater and the city of Hobart and then Valpo, what they've been like to go into those communities as well.
Yeah, it's just they've always been so welcoming. If you've not been to the art theater, it's a small, very intimate venue. You feel like you're a part of the show. And with the same with Valpo, it is, as you said, a little smaller than Bulldog Park, but that doesn't mean the vibe is any less. It has the same downtown feel, like you said. We've got our food trucks. We've got different vendors that come out. Same setup, VIP, your pit area, your general admission if you want to sit down. But it's just, again, another vibe that you can't get anywhere else. You can go into the big city and deal with 60,000 people, but you're going to feel that 60,000 people. So, we've got those big names that do go to the cities that come right to your backyard. We also do have a couple more coming to Crown Point. I don't know if you've looked at that. Yeah. Brothers Osborne, we are partnering with the city of Crown Point for their Hometown Heroes event that they're doing there. So that's going to be incredible. And then again, Kip Moore coming to Crown Point September 4th. Brothers Osborne being August 24th. Kip Moore being September 4th. Tickets are still available for both shows. You don't want to miss them.
We're talking to Jess Tomich of Hometown Jams. They put out, of course, obviously, a lot of different big events on and concerts. We just right before you here, Jess, we were talking with Adrian Santos of the North Township, and they put on a lot of cover bands on Thursday nights right there at Wicker Park, and they'll get thousands of people. You're getting thousands of people. And so, I mean, what's really happening in the region here in terms of the live music scene, especially in the summer?
I think we just have come together and realized that you don't need to go, again, to a big city to have great music in your backyard. Some people may not have the means to do it. If you can do a free show at Wicker Park or even Bulldog Park and Crown Point, I know they have entertainment on weekends. If you can come see a bigger name with us, why not? Why not just be able to do it and you're home within 20 minutes instead of 2 hours later dealing with traffic? And it's something that I think the region really took a hold on and knew that we needed it, and I don't think there's any stopping us.
Where do you want to take this?
We're trying to take over the Midwest. We are in other markets, Evansville, we're in Michigan, we're in Illinois, coming to Ohio, and Kentucky. So we're expanding, we're growing, we're taking those big names that we've had here in Northwest Indiana and taking them on the road with us to other venues that we are a part of.
Jess Tomich, Hometown Jams. You get almost an innovation. Jess should have come with us to the innovation conference on how to 7 or 10x your business. Because it sounds like that's what you're doing. Final thoughts?
Yeah, I was just going to say, when we partnered with Hometown Jams, I thought it was cool because they pretty much started. I think they started in 2018, right, Jess? Right around there.
Yeah.
2018. We started
the Bricky Bowl. Yep.
Yeah. And we started the Sports Network in 2020. We're trying to grow across the state and eventually the Midwest. You guys are already in other markets. So it's fun to see us both grow at the same time. One more time, Justin Moore tonight at Bulldog Park. He's one of my favorite country singers of all time. This is the show I've been most excited about this year.
Yay.
Can't wait for it. But then also at Bulldog Park, as you mentioned, next Sunday is going to be Brothers Osborne. They were just at Festival of the Lakes a couple of years ago. They put on a great show. And then Kip Moore, who no relation to Justin Moore, but Kit Moore, he's really good too. I actually saw him play an acoustic set one time, and it was one of the best sets I've ever seen. So those are 3 shows right here at Bulldog, but also, there's a handful of shows at the Hobart Art Theater left this year, and then at least one in Valpo, Gabby Barrett in September. So Jess, thank you for coming on. Can't wait for Justin Moore tonight, and hopefully we'll run into each other there.
I will see you tonight. I will not be running around like crazy.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jess. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. That's going to end us up for the morning. I want to let you guys know that I go on to keep your headset on. I go on to do 4 podcasts as part of Adriana Alvarez's podcast network, and I'm going to do 2 Mastering Local Marketings. Can we do those live today, guys? They're kind of busy right now. They're not even listening to me. But I would love to do them live. And then we'll have Will Glaros with Limb Walkers, and we'll talk about leadership and motivation and, living a good life. And then we will wind up with the Weezer podcast at 10:30. So I basically go about 6 hours, 5.5 hours on the air here on Thursday mornings, and I love it. But I'll wind up around 11:15. So don't go anywhere. It's going to take a little while. I want to say thank you to Lee Nett. She is learning everything. And as Adriana's over there just having a big old conversation with Matt Hansen, Lee Nett is doing it herself. Hey, I just want a short synopsis of what went on in these studios and in the whole building last night.
Yeah, so we had our NCC Football Media Day. This is something that we started last year. I can't remember if we had a football one or not, though. It might have. I think it started in the wintertime, if I remember correctly, with basketball. But we did football yesterday, and we had all 7 teams from the Northwest Crossroads Conference. Of course, this is our first year with the NCC Network, partnered with RRSN, Regional Radio Sports Network, on that. All 7 teams came. The way it worked was it was 1 coach and then 2 players of the coach's choosing. So 21 total interviews were given. It was 1 team at a time. They came in. Coach sat in the middle. His players were next to him. And media members, Grace O'Pinker from the Times was here. We had Vince Gray here, too, from Regional Radio Sports Network. Sam was asking some questions. A couple other folks
and
as well.
You had Prep Sports USA. You had Louie, and then Lauren was here taking pictures along with Watkins.
Yeah,
it was a true media. It was a true media day. It was kind of interesting. I know you guys kind of wanted me to push out because I was just talking and kind of maybe slowing it down a little bit, but it was really good to see. You could kind of pick up on the rivalries that are already developing, and then some of these players, especially the kind of the stars of each team, they don't know each other, and then all of a sudden they're sharing Doc's barbecue, and they're eating together, and they're actually having conversations. But you could tell amongst the coaches. Chris Skinner was in here talking for Andrean, and Tony Bartolomeo of Hanover was out there just listening to him. And I'm like, he's already looking for that big Hanover versus Andrean matchup. But it was good to see all of them come together, and you guys did a good job with that.
Yeah, one thing we did different this time, too, again, it was, the way it works is coach sits down, he kind of talks about how last season went, and then talks about what he expects for this year, then it opens it up for questions for the 3 of them. The way we had been doing it was that was it. But as we're trying to expand and, we kind of have Facebook and Instagram down, but what are all the kids on now? They're all on TikTok, right? So we want to start getting into Reels and TikTok. So I thought it'd be a cool idea when they were done giving the interviews was to get 2 kids from each team, come into the back studio we have there. We might as well utilize it, right? And I just asked them 10 quick hit questions, kind of this or that's, right? Some were about sports, some was about food, some was about music. You went from everything from a football question to do you like WWE or UFC more, right? And it was kind of fun. The kids had fun with it. So we're going to start putting those out on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram over the next couple of weeks, leading up to the football season and then getting into it as well. So just a full-on content launch we want to do this year and just continue to pump out more and more and more content and grow our social platforms and grow our presence here in the region. So I thought it was a tremendous success last night. Hopefully we'll be able to do more of these. I know Sam and I talked about maybe, I know it's getting close to the season, but maybe being able to do a volleyball one here in the next week or 2. Otherwise, we will be back at it in the the wintertime for basketball.
And all this is paid for by local businesses.
Yeah.
A number of you are signing up, and we appreciate that. But it doesn't cost that much to be on the games. Our mission is to put local athletes on TV, and we're doing that. And the second part of that mission is to get a viable place for local businesses to tell their stories, and more are finding out, and they're learning about the halo effect, which I won't go into, but it's kind of the buzzword in sports broadcasting. Basically, you're watching your favorite team, and you extend the good feelings about your favorite team to the brand that comes up during the breaks. And that's why people pay billions of dollars to be on NCAA games.
Yeah, a couple things I want to say really quick. I just want to thank three specific things for last night. Our two main presenting sponsors the last couple of years of these media days has been Strack & Van Til, who is obviously the namesake of our studio. Central Midwest Carpenters, they've been a tremendous partner. We're actually, me and Sam Garduno are working out something right now. More on that later. And then, obviously, Brent Brazier, you mentioned Doc's Barbecue coming and catering the event. Brent's always great. Short turnaround time. We realized the night before we didn't have any food. So he was still in Wisconsin, ready to head back the next morning from the state fair, and he said, "I got you guys taken care of. We'll do some sliders."
And the guys came out, and man, you could watch these football players. Man, they just woofed down that pork barbecue.
And one more thing I want to say too is, you got to remember sometimes during these things that these are high school kids, right? Like not very long ago, they were really in elementary school, and you grow up quick in high school, but sometimes you still got guys that don't really know how to act when you put a camera in front of them and start asking them these questions. The 14 kids we had last night, absolutely tremendous. They were all great. They were all thank you for having us. And that, that's something you can't take for granted, I think. So that's a great job to the parents for raising the kids that came last night, but also the coaches. Every coach will tell you that obviously you want to win, but you also want to turn these kids into young men by the time that they graduate. So awesome experience.
By the way, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen 14 people in better muscular shape than the football players that came. I didn't realize Novak was so big.
Well, he's going to Wisconsin to play the line.
Yeah, I mean, that was
Ethan Reyna too. Ethan Reyna is going into his junior year.
Yeah,
and he was now his brother. I don't know if you saw, his brother was a track athlete at IU. He just had a tryout with the WWE a week or two ago.
So it was pretty cool. Robinson, St. Louis was here from Munster. Certainly Bartolomeo had his people out. I mean, all these guys kind of hanging out, and I think the NCC is pretty wide open this year. Hey, we got to end it right now. I'll be up with Mastering Local Marketing in 3 minutes on the voice and face of the region.
I could tell by the way you sounded when you called that I wasn't gonna lie
It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it easy. You're still young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me, I am old, but I'm happy. I was once like you are now, and I know that it's not easy to be calm when you found something going on. But take your time, think a lot. Why, think of everything you've got, for you will still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. How can I try to explain? 'Cause when I do, he turns away again. It's always been the same old story. From the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go. It's not time to make a change. Just sit down, take it slowly. You're still young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to go through. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me, I am old, but I'm happy. All the times that I've cried, keeping all the things I knew inside. It's hard, but it's harder to ignore it. If they were right, I'd agree, but it's them they know, not me. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go.
I hear the clock, it's 6 a.m. I feel so far from where I've been. I got my eggs and my pancakes too. Got the maple syrup, everything but you. I break the yolks and make a smiley face. I kinda like it in my brand new place. I wipe the spots up over me, don't leave the key.
Hello, and we're going to start the taping in a second. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Testing, test. Are we live on the air? Yes, we are. So if you're driving around, we're going to go into podcast taping mode. We do it live on the air because we can. And can you say something, Matt Hansen?
Matt Hansen is here for another episode.
How's he sound? Good. Lynette Lopez is the new producer. We have a new producer.
Wow, we've been through two of them now.
We're on a campus, dude. That's what we're supposed to do.
That's what I'm saying.
We just robbed a Barstool Sports.
I know, I heard. That's
that's good. You're like, oh, great, that's great. I'm like, yeah.
No. It's well, I mean, that's the point. They're supposed to go through and learn all the wonderful things here, and then
you need to go get some grant money and get us some. We need a business person to look at all the accounts and follow all the money. My sister does it, but she's like, she could teach anybody to run a major corporation because she used to. So you gonna get us one?
I'll see what I can find.
All right, here. Be quiet, everybody, while we start our podcast. All right. Whether you're currently running Facebook ads or you've tried them and have given up, this episode is for you. Facebook advertising creative should be powerful and an attention grabber. But if it blends into the feed, it is quietly costing you clicks, traffic, and draining your marketing budget. Most small businesses throw together ads and they're using random images, a few lines of text, and hope their marketing result will just work out in the end. But here's the problem. Without the right strategy, your ads disappear in a sea of scrolling thumbs, leaving your competitors to take the spotlight. In this episode, we'll reveal 7 simple ways to create professional scroll-stopping ad creative that Matt Hansen here has used to help small business clients dramatically improve their results. If you're not applying these tactics, you could be paying for ads that never get noticed, let alone clicked. What are we going to learn in this episode?
You're going to hear all of the struggles that the clients that I deal with go through on a daily basis. Facebook advertising is one of the number one things that we work on. And it's simply because a lot of people jump into Facebook. It's the first kind of way that they dive into social advertising. And today I just wanted to kind of discuss that. I was working with a groomer a while back, a pet groomer, and many of the ads that they were putting out there were pictures of their stylists and employees and all of this. And I was asking them, how are the ads doing? And they said, well, they're okay. They're not doing fabulous. And I said, well, who's your market here? And they said, well, our market is people that have dogs that want grooming, and they love their animals and all this other stuff. So I started talking to them about the imagery. I said, you're showing your employees, which is great for you, but what's in it for the consumer? They don't care about your employees. They probably don't know them on a first name basis. They probably don't know anything really about them, but they know about dogs. They know about the breed that they have. They know that they love their pets. That's why they take care of them in such great detail. So I said, why don't we switch that up? Why don't we start looking at the visuals? And that's kind of the first thing that we want to talk about today is the visuals that you put out there in your ad. They need to be striking. They need to stop people. They need to, your employees are not going to stop somebody as they're scrolling through. So when we started to look at the groomer, I said, well, why don't we put some interesting dogs, some cute dogs, something along those lines. So what we did is we started looking for different imagery, and we found, I've got it's a Yorkshire Terrier Shih Tzu mix. So I found it was a picture of this Yorkshire Terrier, and it was just this face that just hair and all this other stuff, and somebody was cutting it. And I said, let's use that picture. And then we found another one, and it was this almost like this really small dog, like a Chihuahua. It wasn't, I don't know what it was exactly, but it was getting a bath, right? And it had all of this soap in it, and it was just kind of a striking image. And I said, let's use these types of images. And they said, well, is that going to work? And I said, well, we're going to partner it up with a couple other things. And we're going to talk about that today. But the first thing is always to find an image that is going to stop people in their tracks. And one of the things that I learned a long time ago, I had an art director at my first job, and his name was Tony Fickey, and he had what we call a swipe file, right? So it's basically all of these ads or all of these designs that you have liked in the past. So if you see an ad out there that you think, wow, that's a great ad, take a picture of it, use your phone, take a snapshot, take a screen grab or whatever on your computer, and hold on to those images. So the next time that you're going out there and you're building a campaign, you have this swipe file that you can go back into, look at the images, and say, that's where I want to go. The other thing that I say when it comes to visuals is scroll through Facebook, scroll through Instagram, scroll through any of them, and what stops you, right? What is stopping you as you're scrolling through it? What in that image set you apart? And I've been doing a lot of that this week on the imagery side, looking at different things and trying to see the contrast from what others are putting out there versus what we can do, right? So it can be something as simple as a color, an image, a border, whatever it may be. But that imagery that you put in there has to stand out. And that's what the first thing that I wanted to talk about today.
We are sitting here in the Strachan Van Til Studios in Hammond, Indiana, and it's on the campus of Purdue Northwest. But Strachan Van Til is, I think, a 21-store grocery store chain. They have completely upgraded their, their digital offerings and the ability to sell the food online and get it delivered to your house. But one of the big pushes in their stores is these ready-made meals. Mm-hmm. And you can go in there and you could just buy a piece of salmon and some rice and some broccoli inside a packet, and you could just bring it home and put it in the microwave, and you have a beautiful meal in however long the mic takes. Depends what kind of power you have on it. I notice in their feed, they're basically solving a problem at the time. It's just my wife and I now, we're kind of empty nesting it. And, I'm like, well, I don't want to cook a bunch of stuff tonight. And then they'll show the picture, hey, what about this? Mm-hmm. It's just using salmon. You can have this, you could buy, you could even get this delivered to your house and you could put it in your microwave. That is a pain point they have solved for me and for my wife. And I think that's got to be one of the other factors. What pain point are you solving?
Right. So that's what marketing does. We identify a pain point that people are dealing with, and we provide a product, a service to solve, create a solution. Something like that, right? So you're solving a pain point. I don't know what time you eat dinner, if it's 4:30 or if it's 10 o'clock, right?
6-ish, yeah.
Right. So at 6 o'clock. So with something like that, you're solving a pain point, and then you also have to look at the timing of it, right? So if you're running ads from, let's say, 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock or 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock every single day, that's hitting right at that time where you're starting to think about dinner for that night, right? So it doesn't matter if you're eating at 4:30 in the afternoon or you're eating at 10 o'clock at night, right? That, by putting the pain point at the right time, your message is hitting something that is striking them right at that moment. So pain points are great. Timing is great. When you partner those two up into an ad and you hit it at that, you set your ads to run at that specific time, you're hitting it perfectly at the right time when that pain point is hitting.
Speaking of time, we are here in the Midwest, and we're recording this in August of 2025. You may be well down the line before you hear this, because the principles of local marketing don't really change. But it has been exceedingly hot and really humid for 2 months, basically straight. And we're going into a weekend right now where they're talking about 100-degree temperatures. How do you look at that situation and work it into your social media?
I think your HVAC people should be paying attention, right? So we did this in the wintertime where I have a client that sells snowblowers. And we knew in 4 or 5 days there was a heavy snowstorm coming. So we launched that campaign 4 or 5 days earlier and said, hey, the snow is coming this weekend. We're expecting 6 inches of snow. We have inventory, limited inventory. Get in here. Let's get you prepared for this weekend. So it's that relevance to what is coming in the future. It's the same thing with the fact that it's supposed to be 90, 100 degrees this weekend. What is it? I was in Home Depot yesterday, and there are air conditioners lined up ready for this weekend. Why not, right? Like, that's what you need to look ahead and understand that things are about to happen. So if you are a small business and you're selling HVAC, set it up. get out there, let people know that, this weekend is going to be hot, and it's going to continue to be hot because we're in the thick of, August, right? So just look at the products and services that you provide and see if there's a way that you can head off something in the future by putting your ads in front of it. And you're probably going to see a pretty, good increase in clicks just based off of that.
We run our main business anymore is a digital sports streaming network, and we do a lot of games now when the weather's nice and football starting and all that, and volleyball is indoors, and we do a lot of soccer. But in the winter we do wrestling, some swimming, but mostly basketball. And a snowstorm is coming, or it's going to get really, really cold, and they're going to still try to play the games. We'll hit the social media that this game's going to be on TV, and you can watch it if you're not going to go out, because people will tend to stay home here in the Chicago area it gets bad weather. And I hadn't really think about it, but it kind of fits into that.
Yeah.
And let's move on. We got 4 more we're going to try to put in there, and I'll just put what you want to talk about, and I'll just let you explain this. But sometimes you just want to build on a feeling that's out there, but you first have to identify what exactly is going on. You want to build on a feeling. How do you start that process?
Yeah, so, we're human beings, so we have a variety of feelings, a lot of things that go through on a daily basis. So, what we were just talking about with the 90 degrees, 100 degrees, that's urgency, right? So if your air conditioner is broken right now, there's some urgency there to get that fixed. The other flip side is, can you create some curiosity, something that's going on, right? There are all these different feelings that human beings experience, and you can play those into your advertising. A lot of clients that I sit down are just straightforward sells, and I always ask them what is the pain point that we're trying to solve, who is your customer, and what is the feeling that they're going through right now. Because if it's hunger, right? So you're talking about Strax and the prepared foods. It's hunger at 3:00. I don't want to go home and cook tonight, right? It's that urgency of getting something. In the time commitment that I have to when I get home. From the 100 degrees, it's the urgency of I do not want to sit there and sweat all weekend because my AC is broken or it's blowing out hot air. Maybe it's blowing semi-cold, whatever. So there are all these feelings that you're going through, and you have to identify what that target audience is going through. And it could be a variety of things. And we've touched on 2 examples today, but from a Facebook ad perspective, you have the ability to schedule timing. You have the ability to play on certain habits and behaviors and all these different things that you can schedule and build your target audience. We're going back to school right now, right? So the public schools are going back to school. So what is it? Did I forget to buy all the school supplies? Does my child need new shoes? All of these different things that are going on right now. Can we build that in, right? So again, think about what your consumer is going through. Think about it from their perspective, from their eyeballs, right? And go, what are they struggling with? What are they enjoying? All of these different emotions that they're going through, and build it into your campaigns, build it into your ads.
We're talking to Matt Hansen. We also record live on the radio here on AM 1230 and 104.7. We're on the campus of Purdue Northwest. And a major theme here over the 60-some podcasts is you're always trying to simplify things for the small and medium-sized business. Make it cheaper, buy cheap advertising, create awareness. We always go back to the sales funnel: awareness, consideration, close. But it's always, you have really given basically me as the host almost a separate marketing degree on top of the MBA. And if there's one thing I take out of it, is that marketing of your small business is you just have to simplify things all the time. And I'm always talking to these guys, how are we simplifying? How are we simplifying? So when you're going to a Facebook ad, do you go out there and tell everybody all the stuff that you do and how great you are? or do you try to maybe sometimes just pick one thing?
I think businesses often will just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And instead of focusing on one single offer or one single campaign that you're putting out there and perfecting it over the long haul, they throw it all out there and then they say, oh, nothing works, right? So I think from a consultant side of thing, I'm going to tell you, go out there and create an offer. Build the offer, build the landing page, build the entire funnel all the way through, and then start to tweak the funnel. What doesn't work? Okay, if I change one thing, let's say I change the image on this ad to a different image, same ad, just two different images. See which one does better. Okay, great. Now let's see if the headline, let's test the headline. Now let's see if we test the pricing. Let's see if we test the body copy of the ad, right? Let's test the landing page. Let's make a tweak here or there. And we've talked at ends about how you can tweak all of these different things through various episodes on this podcast. But focus on one single thing. Start with one single offer and then perfect that by testing a bunch of different things as you go. But always, always, always test one thing at a time, one offer at a time. And there's going to be people out there that will tell me, oh no, throw a bunch of different offers out there, see what sticks. That's great if you have huge budgets. I think a lot of people that listen probably don't have these huge budgets. They're not going to go out there and spend $10,000, $20,000 a month on Facebook ads. I mean, you're probably talking to people that are spending, maybe $50, $100, $500 a month on Facebook ads, hopefully, right? And you can't spread that thin. You've got to literally focus on one area.
You see a lot of this. A lot of people have been buying concert tickets. I was buying a camera lens the other day, and an older camera, and it was like, oh, we only have 2 left. Or you see when you're buying tickets for, I went up to see the Brewers play in Milwaukee, and it was like, 4 tickets left in this section. And that's on every website. That's Ticketmaster, that's SeatGeek, all of them, even the MLB site. That is it creates a feeling of, I got to do it now. What can you do as a small to low, medium-sized business and create that same feeling?
Yeah, I mean, again, we're taking the emotion into the consumer, and we're trying to build that into our call to action, right? So if you're putting something out there, perfect example, I was working with a client a while back, and they had 7 spots that were open every single day. And once they filled, the ad came down, right? So literally it was the ad would run for the day. It was 7 spots only today. Once they fill. And we were filling them in less than an hour, so the ad came down. So it was the urgency. Everyone kept asking, when's the ad? How do I get this? And we said, you just have to look for the ad. It's 7 spots every single day. And, those spots filled up instantly. So it literally is a strong call to action. It's a sense of fear of missing out, right? The FOMO effect. And, just put that out there and test those different things. So, don't lie. Don't say, oh, there's 7 spots and there's really 20, but, create some kind of sense of urgency in your call to action, and you're going to see some significant results.
It would be a Mastering Local Marketing podcast if we didn't somehow use the word AI in this podcast. So on the 7th way of looking at your ads on Facebook especially, we'll talk about other social media platforms, AI future with video. I mean, how do you integrate that?
Yeah, so Meta has, obviously they've announced that by the end of this year, everything will be AI through the advertising platform. So they've given you a variety of tools to create movement and motion, right? So use that. So think of it as I'm scrolling through, it's not only the image that's going to capture the eye of the customer, but they actually have the ability to create some movement in your ad as well. So to take a static image and create movement. So think of that as you're scrolling and you've got all these static images that are sitting there that people aren't taking advantage of the AI movement and all these things that you can add to it. Click that button. It's a little check that you put in there, add some motion in there, and let them do that. And it just obviously, as we go into 2026, you could take a static image and they're going to create AI video out of it as well. I mean, that's a whole nother discussion that we had, but create some kind of movement in it. As long as, even if it's just something as simple as taking an image, clicking that button that says move it a little bit, and it's just going to, it creates that movement that the human eye is going to go toward.
This is the 65th episode of Mastering Local Marketing. He's Matt Hansen. I'm Jim Deedlow, Jed. We talked about creating some scroll-stopping Facebook ads. 7 things that you got to think about. First of all, does it stop you? What's the pain point? The relevance. Also, you got build on a feeling or urgency, curiosity. Simplify it. Get one single focus. Of course, use the movement and the AI that Facebook has. And certainly, you got to have a call to action sometimes. 3 spots left. Better do it now. Matt Hansen, final comment.
Yeah, if anybody has any ideas for future episodes, please reach out to me at matt@masteringlocalmarketing.com. So that's matt@masteringlocalmarketing.com, and we will try to put that in the queue for a future episode.
Thanks a lot. Until next time, see you later. Hey, everybody. Testing, test. Hey, how is that? Is that a good level? Yeah, there you go. Can you turn my ears up just one little peck? Testing, test. That's not touching my ears. It must be a different one. Testing, test. Hello, everybody. AM 1230 WJOB. Don't worry about it. I'm good on the ears. There you go. That's right. That's better. It's that one right there. All right, be right back in a second. A little bit of music, and we'll be right back.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Silver Springs is a great old song. Thank you.
You got to change your evil ways, baby. Before I stop loving you, you got to change, baby. And every word that I say is true. You got me running and hiding all over town. You got me sneaking in a beat and running you down. This can't go on. Lord knows you got to change, baby. Baby, when I come home, baby, my house is dark and my pots are cold. You hang around, baby, with Gene and Joan and who knows who. I'm getting tired of waiting and fooling around. I'll find somebody that won't make me feel like a clown. This can't go on. Lord knows you got to change. When I come home, baby, my house is dark and my pots are cold. You hang around, baby, with Gene and Joan and who knows who. I'm getting tired of waiting and fooling around. Find somebody that won't make me feel like a clown. This can't go on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Seems I've got to have a chance to see every night I have a stranger's dream. Imprisoned by the way I could have been left you on my own arm. So it seems I've got to leave before I start to scream. For some locked the door and took
Are you looking for inspiration for your own social media efforts? Are you feeling stuck and need a little bit of a push? Then this episode of Mastering Local Marketing Podcast is for you. The right social media campaign can do more than generate likes. It can inspire, start conversations, and move people to action. For small business marketers, which you probably are if you're listening to this, these campaigns offer more than just marketing wins. They're blueprints for building awareness, connecting with communities, and making a real impact. Large brands may have the budget, but the strategies they use can be adapted into powerful, affordable campaigns for small business. In this episode, we'll share some of the most influential social media campaigns of all time and to break down the key elements that made them effective. You see how to borrow the building blocks from big brand strategies and evolve them into something uniquely your own. No $1 million budget required. I'm Jed. He's Matt Hansen, a digital marketing professor at Purdue Northwest. Hi.
Hey.
Hey, I just want to start out with one thing. I went to an innovation conference with Live Golf, and they were having a tournament here in Chatham Hills, right outside of Indianapolis, and part of it was the innovation conference. And they brought Live in so that us innovators and us founders of digital startups could have access to what Live is trying to make happen and how we could apply it to our own small businesses. It was amazing because all of the principles are the same of what they do and basically the same stuff that you talk about on all these podcasts. So I wanted to congratulate you. It was all about awareness.
Okay.
Awareness was a word they must have used 100 times. And if you know the sales funnel, we go back to the fundamental here of mastering local marketing is it's a funnel. Create awareness, then you get people in the consideration phase, and at the bottom is the close or the sale itself. And so I wanted to say it was like kind of exactly what you're saying right now. Look at what they're doing, apply it to your own business.
Yeah, for I would say at least 10 years I taught this process to my students, so to undergrad students in marketing. And what I would tell them is we have to build a campaign for a client. And I said we've got our objectives that we've got to go out there. We have to generate awareness or build consideration or whatever it may be. I said, but let's go out there and understand. Typically, they were targeting college students. That's why the college students were working on it. But I would say, let's go out there and find at least 3 campaigns that you absolutely adore. Things that stop you in your tracks. Things that you love to participate in. Things that you, when you see them online, you actually stop, watch the video, participate, you're downloading apps, you're participating in a rewards program, whatever it may be. Tell me what those are. So we would literally spend 2 weeks going out and just pulling all of these different campaigns, and we would talk about them. And it's one of my favorite things to do because what you're doing is you're dissecting the things that worked for you or worked on you. And the fact that they were the target audience, it worked out even better. So we would go out there and we'd find, maybe we found a Pepsi campaign that they ran in the past, or a Red Bull campaign, or a Nike campaign that ran. And we'd start to dissect it and go, well, what is it about it that you absolutely adore that got you to notice it? Is it the imagery? Is it the video? Is it the offer? Is it the rewards? What is it? And we would dissect that and we'd say, okay, great. If we built a campaign for our client that incorporated 3 of those things, would you pay attention to it? And they said, absolutely. So that's how we always got started with some of the campaigns that we used to do. And I've taught this process to other universities as well. Other professors have reached out to me to talk to their students and so forth. But what we're going to talk about, and I love doing these episodes, and we're going to do a bunch of these through the year, is just talk about campaigns that stand out, that you just need to pay attention to, and why they work, and how you can kind of incorporate them into your own brand. And, we've got some really fun ones to talk about today.
I just want to emphasize that. I took the Matt Hansen 2 digital marketing courses in my MBA. We are recording here on the campus of Purdue Northwest, so I just started taking a class here and there, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, why not be one of the oldest MBAs they've ever had? And that was one of the main things I took out of there. What do you look at what the big people are doing and spending all this money on R&D, and then all of a sudden they're rolling this out, and how do you apply it locally? And I'll give you an example, is that we basically looked at the technology that all of the big folks were doing that were streaming big games, and we lost some people to Big Ten Network, and there's like, you can do that at the high school level. And that is a major fundamental in mastering local marketing, is to look at not just in social media, not just in tech, not just in promotions. Look at what those folks that are spending a ton of money to learn how to do this and apply it to your own business.
Yeah. It's the same thing when you talk about location, right? So if you're looking for a location to put your business, find a Starbucks. They've done the research, right? Find a Starbucks, find a Walmart, find a Target. They've done the research. They've invested into that area. And, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be successful if you're right around those.
You may remember some of these social media campaigns, and we'll look at, kind of marvel at what they did, and then we'll dissect some of the fundamentals behind it. But you may not remember this one, the Bat Kid campaign, and it's kind of centered around leukemia. Had a rough message in there, but also had some major entertainment. Describe what it was and what really appealed to you.
Right. So Make-A-Wish obviously provides a wish to children that have some kind of disease that, it's kind of that one thing that they've always wanted to do. And there was a kid by the name of Miles Scott in San Francisco, and he liked Batman. So instead of just creating a thing where you go and meet maybe one of the actors that was Batman, or you put him in an outfit that's Batman or whatever, they created a whole Gotham City in San Francisco. So think of it in terms of this, right? So you have social media, you have these videos that you're creating, and you're taking the path and you're creating a movie about this wonderful child as Batman. So he went around and he's saving he's saving the damsel in distress. He's going out and capturing the Riddler. I mean, he foils a bank robbery, right? But they planned all of these to be action-packed, and they shared these videos, these stories on social media. So Miles and his family has this great content that they get to see. It's this great experience. It's so much more than just a meet and greet. Like, he recreated himself as Batman, and they put it all together. So, I mean, yes, you can do the wish, but they took it to that next degree, that next level, and I just love this one. So, I guess what I'm saying is, from a local level, if you're doing something from a charity point of view, or, you're just doing something very similar to this, how can you take it to that next level, right? So we start with Batman as a character, but then we promoted it into almost like a little mini movie or little mini episodes of him going out and saving all of these people and creating this idea that he really was Batman. So I guess what I'm saying here is, from this campaign, I love it. This is probably my favorite one on the whole list that we're talking about today, but it makes you feel good, right? You see this kid gets to live out his dream. Maybe you have the same thing. Maybe somebody, let's go to, one of my friends recently was doing a triathlon, right? Could you, if you're a sporting goods store, could you follow their path from point A to point B, the struggles that they go through, the triumphs that they have, as they're swimming, obviously you can't do any video with that, but then they transition to the bike or the run. I mean, can you have them talking as they're going through and doing these types of things? Can you create that content, that real life content? And I think that's the fun part, is how do you take it to that next level? And it's very simple. I mean, you can go get, my daughter just bought a $5 microphone from Five Below that she's doing a vlog with. I mean, it doesn't take much to get the materials that you need, right? So she's got the $5 mic and you've got your iPhone and you're off and running. So what we're saying is it's, I know we just said no $1 million budgets, but a $5 microphone in your phone, I mean, we all have our phones in our hands at all times. So, you could create something just like that just by taking this as an inspiration.
Well, who has a bigger marketing budget than Apple? And I know that there are a number of good social media campaigns. What stands out for you with Apple?
So Apple with their shot on iPhone campaign, I absolutely love, right? So there are roughly, it's probably closer to 30 million posts right now on Instagram. Just people highlighting how good the iPhone is to shoot video and photos. In my family, when we upgrade our phones, my wife gets it for the video and for the picture, right? And she very rarely talks on the phone. She very rarely text message. She's always snapping photos. She's always doing video. So instead of creating a campaign and saying, this is how great our iPhone is, they've actually turned it over to the user-generated content to say, show us what you can create. And you'll see even the commercials that Apple does on rare occasion are shot on an iPhone. So, I remember the days back 10 years ago where we had to buy DSLRs and have these fancy cameras, and we'd have $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 worth of equipment. Today, you buy a $1,000 iPhone and you're off and running. You could shoot some really good video that's movie quality, and your photos are amazing at this point. So they've highlighted how well their product is by literally turning over the marketing message to their users, creating a hashtag, and as I said, you're going to see on social platforms, all of the content that's being generated. And just by searching the simple hashtag, you can see what's out there and get inspiration for what you can do as well.
The one of the things that we do here, and I've mentioned it many times, I do a JED TV Sports Network, and we're growing, and we have an app on TVs and on phones. And one of the things that we can track is a measurable for us is if we do a game or we do some posts or we just did media day last night, how many app downloads does that get us? Spotify is in the same business, so we've actually learned from them a couple of things. But Spotify has been very innovative also, and I know there's one that you specifically like.
Yeah, I love how Spotify every December kind of wraps up everything that you've done through the year and then shares that with you and gives you the ability to then share that with your friends and family, right? So it's funny because everyone I know that's on Spotify, especially even in my household, they'll laugh and go, oh, my daughter, Taylor Swift, right? It's 1 million Taylor Swift songs that she listens to. And it's interesting to me because it's your data. And then they're just sharing your data back to you, and then you take that and run with it. So they're not generating anything other than your data coming back to you and saying, here, you want to share this with your friends and family, here you go. And, how can you use that with other things? I mean, there's a variety of ways that you can do that. I mean, you're collecting data on your customers. If you've got a point of purchase system in there, maybe you can track some of that and provide some insight into how their spend went that year, right? If you're a restaurant, do you get the same thing every single time, or are you getting different things? I mean, are you buying events? Are you, you can go a million different ways with it. But I love the fact that they're taking data, giving it back to you, and then giving you the ability to share it with people. That's all they're doing. It's a very simple process.
What about Dove?
Dove, I absolutely love what
the women show the women and look like me campaign. I mean, I know my wife follows that one. I haven't necessarily gone into it, but you have, so go ahead.
I love what Dove has done because we worked back in 2014. We worked on a campaign in this space, and one of the things that we kept saying was when you strip away the product and the logo, all the ads look the same, right? So what Dove has done is they actually partner with Getty Images, and they created the Show Us campaign. And it literally is basically saying, instead of us trying to build the next campaign and show you what that next campaign is, why don't you show us what you want to see in the ads? So what they did is they created this hashtag, and you can share all these images, and people are basically commenting saying, well, I'm unique in this way, and I would love to see more of this in advertising because I don't see that individual out there, right? It's the same person over and over in these beauty ads, but this is what I struggle with, or this is what I have, or this is what makes me unique. And I would love to see more of that in those ads, right? And that's what they've done. So they created this entire campaign, and all of these images now are in Getty, so you can see them. And it basically it's really interesting to see what people want to see in the ads. So instead of seeing the same person over and over and over, the same theme, what you're seeing is the user-generated content. They're giving you their inspiration. They're saying, please promote your products this way, and you're getting market research coming back to you to say, oh, we never thought about going in this direction or that direction. So your users, your customers, are actually giving you research and insights as to where the next marketing campaign should go. And Dove just embraces everybody instead of trying to be this stereotypical beauty ad, right? And that's what I love about what they've done. They've done this in a variety of different ways through the years. Another one that they have is where they interview, they sit down mother and daughter, and they start talking about how they use AI to generate these beauty messages coming from the mother. And the mother never actually said these things. And the mother is telling him to get injections and all this other stuff. And the mother is absolutely appalled, right? And she's like, I would never say this. Well, the daughter is going, I hear this stuff on social media all the time. And, it's really kind of shocking. So it's that, in that last episode, we were talking about the shock value and playing off of emotions. This is exactly what I'm saying. Like, you're looking at what people are dealing with in that industry, and you're trying to make a change for the better. So listen to your users, listen to your customers, create that user-generated content, and it's going to provide some insights as to where you need to go.
Doritos did an amazing one that if you're a sports fan, it's tough to stand out around the Super Bowl. A lot of people spend a lot of money, and then they don't get the ROI on it. And when they came up with Crash the Super Bowl, I thought that was... They had to give away $1 million, but you're not going to have that kind of budget. But they got some pretty good ROI on that one.
Yeah, I mean, basically the whole idea was submit a 30-second commercial, Doritos commercial, and if yours is the best, we'll run it on the Super Bowl. So, who's to say that you couldn't do something like that on a local level, right? So. We were talking before we got on air, we were talking about how local is becoming, especially in TV, local is the big focus right now. So could you take this same idea where people are creating 30-second commercials for Doritos to go on the Super Bowl and saying, let's throw it out there to the local universities, let's throw it out there to the local creative talent and just say, hey, if you can create a commercial for our company, we'll run it on the local TV, on ABC and NBC, or we'll run it on the streaming services or whatever, right? Like, could you do that? Of course you can, right? Because people want to see their stuff put out there. And, could you create a competition, some kind of promotion that way? Absolutely. So, maybe, we were talking about marketing agencies. Throw it out to the marketing agencies and say, all right, instead of throwing an RFP out there for our next thing, create the next best 30-second commercial. And whoever does the best job, that's who we're going with, right? And that you run it. There you go.
Too easy. He's Matt Hansen, and I'm Jim Deedlow, Jed of Jed TV, and we're talking about some of the best social media campaigns of all time. You probably have your own. The main principle, though, is just learn from those campaigns. You don't necessarily have 7 people sitting in a room trying to come up with creative ideas and then have an ability to A/B test everything. They do, so you might as well use it.
Definitely.
Till next time, we will see you later.
You belong among the wildflowers. You belong somewhere close to me.